AI is being deployed pretty much everywhere, right? But what we're talking about today, this might be where the stakes are the absolute highest, the very heart of the scientific process itself. Think about it. Peer review is the gatekeeper for all of science. It's what's supposed to separate the breakthroughs from the nonsense. But here's the thing. That gatekeeper is under so much strain, it's starting to buckle. The whole system is at risk. So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? Can this incredibly powerful new technology, artificial intelligence, swoop in and save the day? Or is it about to make everything a whole lot worse? Let's dig in.
Okay, so first things first. To really get why AI is even part of this conversation, you have to understand the sheer scale of the problem. We live in a publish-or-perish world, and the flood of new research papers is just becoming impossible for human experts to keep up with. I mean, just look at this. This chart shows submission growth for just one major AI conference. Submissions jumped 47% one year, and then a whopping 61% the next. This isn't just growth, folks. It's an explosion. And the reviewers? They're absolutely drowning in papers. And right into this crisis walks a potential new ally. Large language models, the tech behind things like ChatGPT, are amazing at generating text. And researchers pretty much immediately saw the potential here. Could this be the help they've been waiting for?
And you know what? The initial results are kind of stunning. In one massive study, they used an AI to give feedback to the human reviewers on their draft reviews. And get this, more than a quarter of them actually went back and improved their work. That's a huge intervention.
And these weren't just cosmetic changes either. When other human experts, who had no idea which was which, compared the original reviews to the AI-prompted ones, they preferred the new version almost 90% of the time. They called it clearer, more helpful, just plain better. This wasn't just about fixing typos. The updated reviews got longer, by an average of 80 words. That tells you the AI was prompting reviewers to go deeper, to provide much more substantive feedback. And it's not just in these controlled experiments. When you ask researchers directly, over 82% said that AI-generated feedback was actually more useful than some of the reviews they'd gotten from human peers. So clearly, there's a real hunger for better feedback out there. Okay, but you knew there was a but coming, right? For every amazing promise, there is a serious peril. AI is not some magic solution, and plugging it into such a high-stakes process comes with a very real and kind of hidden dark side. And the single biggest risk? It's a phenomenon called hallucination. This is where the AI, with complete and utter confidence, just makes things up. And in a field that's built entirely on facts and evidence, that is a catastrophic failure. So how does this actually play out? Well, take a look at the table. You see two big types. First, fabricated citations. In one study, nearly 20% of the citations an AI generated were for papers that don't even exist. Then you have fictional limitations, where the AI just invents plausible-sounding flaws, sending researchers on a complete wild goose chase. And hallucination is just the beginning. There's also the risk that AI could amplify existing biases. There are huge confidentiality risks when you upload unpublished research to public AI tools. And there's even this crazy danger of prompt injection, where authors can hide instructions in a paper to trick an AI reviewer into giving it a pass. It really all comes down to this fundamental limit. AI has become incredibly good at mimicking the form of a good review. It can write polished, fluent text that looks the part, but what it lacks is true epistemic judgment, that deep, nuanced understanding to know if a discovery is actually important, if it's new, or if the science is even sound. So what do we do? How do we get all those amazing benefits without falling into these catastrophic risks? Well, the consensus across the scientific community is starting to point to one pragmatic path forward, the co-pilot model. The whole idea here is to create some very clear rules of engagement. Separate what's okay from what's absolutely not. So, is it acceptable for AI to assist a human reviewer? Sure, check grammar, detect plagiarism, but is it acceptable for it to replace that reviewer? No way. It can't be making the final judgment calls or handling confidential data. And this model is really being built on three key pillars. First, transparency. Reviewers have to disclose when and how they used AI. Simple. Second, accountability. A human being must always be in the loop with the final authority. And third, reliability. You can't just blindly trust what the AI spits out. Its output has to be rigorously checked.
And this brings us right to the central metaphor that perfectly captures where all the experts are landing. The evidence from every major study is pointing in exactly the same direction. AI can be an incredibly powerful co-pilot, but it must never, ever be the autonomous pilot.
And that leaves us with this one crucial takeaway. The goal here isn't to replace human intelligence, it's to augment it. It's about using AI as a tool to improve the quality of the process, while always reserving that final, critical scientific judgment for the accountable human expert. At the end of the day, it's not about automation, it's about augmentation.